Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's system design intro. This is part one of a two-part series where I plan to introduce the seven-step system design interview framework. You will know by now that generally software engineers, product technical program managers, or program managers trying to be technical program managers and product managers have difficulty or struggle when it comes to system design interviews. And the main reason being that, first of all, by their very nature, they are designed to be ambiguous, open-ended. Therefore, there's no standard solution. It's difficult to just get one specific answer. There are multiple pathways. Secondly, candidates sometimes do not have enough exposure or experience in developing complex and large-scale systems, which are typically what is asked for in SDIs. And then thirdly, and believe it or not, most frequently the most challenge is that candidates do not spend sufficient time to prepare for SDIs. Recently on my LinkedIn, I saw an L8, ex-Google, ex-Facebook, now Amazon senior principal engineer saying that his secret was to prepare over and over and over for his coding interviews. But what you need to understand is system design interviews are similar to coding interviews. So we normally like to start with the thought of the day, and today's thought of the day is by Sydney Smith, who says that it is the greatest of all mistakes to do nothing because you can only do little. It is the greatest of all mistakes to do nothing because you can only do little. And that speaks to me because that's essentially why we do this engineering slash product slash TPM talks, because we understand that every little helps. That's You can think about the thought of the day and tell me what it speaks to you. So I've said who this is for, technical program managers and product TPMs. What I plan to cover in the seven-step process are requirements clarification, back of the envelope or design consideration, estimations, system interface definition, defining a data model, high-level design, detailed design, and if you're trying to be a top tier, identifying bottlenecks. Why is this important if you have interviews coming up? But also, quite recently, Financial Times, I think of last week or so, there was an article that caught my eye, which was the cutthroat competition for places, large companies, particularly as they be scrapping graduate internships, which means that the ladder is becoming narrower and narrower. My hope is that with this course or this talk, you will be able to find a place for your feet to land. Okay. So quite quickly, the first step in the seven-step process is requirements clarification, which is really about asking questions, even more questions, right? And it's a good idea to ask lots of questions at the outset of the interview because you're trying to shape the solution, you're trying to understand the problem, you're trying to shape the problem. And because design questions are typically one-ended, when you start to ask questions, you can narrow down iteratively on your solution. You clarify ambiguities, and then if you spend more time at the outset, this is my agile point. Okay, so you spend more time at the outset to refine your questions into the solutions, then you have a better chance of meeting the goals of the system. Okay, so if we try to expand on an actual example, say with Twitter, okay, question you may want to ask is, will users of the service be able to post tweets or follow other people? Will tweets contain photos and videos, photos or videos? Remember, you're not trying to design the actual Twitter, you're trying to design an X or Twitter-like system, which means that the requirements clarification will help you narrow down on what elements, what components that you need to display. Do you want to display hot trending topics? Will there be any push notifications? Things like that will help you refine on your solution, right? So you have to clarify those requirements. What kind of pictures do you want? Do you want pictures? Where will they be stored, etc. Okay. The next thing you do is still more questions, but now you want to do what we call a back of envelope estimation. right? So for instance, you want to know how big the system, right? Customer problem, how big is the system going to be, right? And this will help you later when you're trying to scale and calculate what are the nuances, how many daily active users in the system. Always remember that you're not trying to design the actual Twitter system, you're trying to design a mock-up system based on the interview questions, right? So that allows you to say how much storage you need, right? Because the storage requirements will differ based on whether you can have photos or videos or both. What network bandwidth will you be expecting, right? This will be crucial in deciding, how do we manage traffic between your load balancers? Do you need load balancers? Those kind of questions will help you clarify that. Okay. Then something else, you know, what kind of storage do you require? What kind of bandwidth do you require? What kind of servers? How will that load be distributed? You- Excuse me. Then the next thing is always good to do is define your system interface, right? Understand how the system will fit together. Typically, what this really entails is defining those APIs, right? And what those APIs will expect from the system so that you can establish your API contract. So for instance, some example of APIs that you consider for a Twitter-like service or an X-like service would be, do you want to post tweet? Right? And if you're going to post to it, what are the parameters they use to identify that flow through the system? Is it the user ID? Is it the tweet data? Right? The location? Is that really important? You need to generate a timeline of hot topics or timeline of favorite tweets or users timeline. What would that entail? Right? Do you want to mark a tweet favorite or not? These are the kind of questions. I've left some blank space there. Fill in the comments at the bottom and tell me what other aspects of system interfaces you think should form a Twitter or X-like service API contract. Okay, so just say thank you very much. In this first part, we have covered requirements clarification, we have covered back of envelope calculations, and we just looked at the system interface definition, the first steps in system design interview. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click on the button and let me know. Okay, thank you very much. See you to the next one.